Okay, so this is going to be a very short plyometric basics workout. If you want to skip straight to the workout, timing should be showing up here. I do suggest you still do a warm-up because plyometrics can be hard on the body. We're not going to be doing the really fast explosive stuff at the moment. What I want to do is actually build up muscle strength that you need before we take it up into the next level. So in the next few videos of this, we will be building up different muscle structures. So I am picking, I've got 6 exercises here. They're all designed to help build on specific Budo moves. So some from kendo, some from naginata, some from Jukendo, but they should still apply across the board and they still will help strengthen up your body in different ways. So starting with a quick warm up, get yourself some room. So just head to the side, so just tilting it to the shoulder and just waking up the muscles. So don't stretch it too far, you're just wanting to wake them up. Roll to the front, back around again. And then roll the shoulders, so pull them back with the shoulder blades and forwards. Add some hip circles, so nice and deep, let the body come forward so it'll stretch out your hamstrings. The further you come forward, the more it'll open up your hip flexors. So you can make these quite extreme. Obviously, if you're not feeling comfortable with it, that's fine. Go the other way. Just make them smaller or modify if you need to. Going to warm up the knees, so feet together underneath your hips, just gentle forward bends, just waking them up. Take it a bit wider. Make sure the knees are coming over the toes, they're not coming out. So you still want to keep that alignment. Take it wider again, angle the feet slightly out, and again you want the knees driving over the line of your toes, but not past your toes. Come up into one point of one foot, so onto the ball of the foot, and change. And change. Should be getting nice and warm in the legs. These are some of the muscles we'll be using pretty much straight away. Just hold in position, cross the body with your arm, keep your shoulder down, elbow straight, and the other side. Over the body, or sorry, over the head. So we're stretching the tricep at the base of the arm here. And change over. Hip should be feeling quite warm, your thigh should be feeling quite warm. And relax. Just putting your hands behind your head and gently rotating to one side, back through center and to the other side. Take your wrists, lace your fingers together, just warm them up with a few wrist circles. You want them loose. Back. All right. So for this workout set, you basically need some lightweight, so some small dumbbells. If you've got one singular thing like a weight plate from a barbell set, or backpack filled with books, that's fine too. You don't need it too heavy to begin with. You want a towel or something you can lie on. And you may want the chair for one of the or two of the exercises. So we're going to start off with a calf raise with bent knee. And what we're doing is we're working the gastrocnemius, which is the big muscle at the top of the leg, the soleus, which is inside and further down. These are the ones that help power your footwork. So we really want to start working those, and we want to make sure that we're keeping our ankles, knees, and hips in alignment, so you don't have the knee in one direction while your movement's going in another. This is where you might want the chair. Try and make sure I still stay in view for you. So all we're really going to be doing is coming up onto the balls of the feet and back down. To partway through this, we'll actually do it from a bent knee position. So I'm just going to show you from the side. My feet are underneath my hips. I come up onto the balls of the feet and down. So I'm controlling the movement up and down, squeezing the entire length of my body in. So butt, core, pull my shoulders down. So everything is still engaged, even though I'm just moving up and down. I will change it at some point to, we'll start with the bend, and then we're just going to come forward, like this. So again, you want to make sure the knees are coming over the toes. And then finally, we'll be coming up, bend, up and down. So we're just going to run through this for a little while. Remember, this is not the fast version, but this is going to help power your movements when the muscles are built up. So if you need to, use chair, wall, whatever you like. Feet underneath the hips, underneath the ankles. No, feet underneath the knees, underneath the hips. Balance if you need to. Pulling up through the body, squeeze everything in. Up onto the balls of the feet and roll it back down. And up and down. And up and down. So you want to make sure everything's keeping tight. We're really focusing on that alignment, really squeezing. We're making sure we're not just dropping straight back down. We're controlling the movement the entire way. So you could kind of stop partway on the drop down. So this is all about control, squeezing your calf muscles in, really starting to feel them. All right, we're going to swap to bent and driving them forward. So now it's just pushing forward off the balls of your toes. So the rest of your body is staying where it is. You can see my head isn't going any higher. It's just my knees are driving forward in line with my toes. So they're not going out, they're driving straight forward. And that's what you want to do, is you want to make sure they're stacked in that alignment. Always straight forward, not out, not in. Should be feeling it now. Okay, coming back to the base position, come up, bend, up and down. So keep it all squeezed, let it relax, squeeze and down. So again, if you need to, just check the alignment of your knees over your toe line. So they're staying in that line up. Should be feeling pretty warm, especially if you're squeezing everything the entire way. As you get more used to it, you can do away with the chair or the wall altogether. You might just still want to have something there just in case you want to have a light fingertip balance. Just then it means you can focus on the rest of the technique without the balance as well. But it is good to move up to the point where you can pretty much do away with it for the most part. And relax. Pop the chair to the side. If you've got some light weights, some small dumbbells, we're now going to work with these. I'm going to come down onto my knee so you can see a bit better. We're basically going to be mimicking a bit of the movement with a forward cut from kendo. It's not going to be exact. We're using both arms. The idea is we're using small weights, preferably around the weight of a shinai, a little bit more. Eventually you'll be doing this with heavy weights and then a single weight together. So all we're going to be doing is coming from a tricep to a forward hold. So we take our arms above our head, arms close in towards the head, so not out here. Don't have to be perfectly straight, you don't want to lock the elbows. We're coming up, we're going to let the arms drop backwards, we're stretching our triceps. Try not to let your back cave, squeeze that in. Bring them up over the head, keeping the shoulders down. Bring them forward to shoulder height. So you might find it more comfortable doing this kneeling up, because then you can squeeze in the core. Up, tricep bend, overhead, and forward. So always pulling down with the shoulders, and pulling the shoulder blades in. If you only have one weight, just do this one at a time. If you need to, you can always come back on the video and do the other side. Or, as I said, you can basically have one weight shared between the two. As I said, I know with kendo you really only use one, but we want to make sure the muscles on both sides of our body are even as much as possible. Keep going. And relax. All right. Sorry, just need to check what the next exercise is going to be on that one. So again, if you need to do the other arm, just rewind or stop and go do the other side. You always want to balance things up. Next thing we're going to do is a plate or a weight circle. So again, you can use a dumbbell, you can use a pile of books, something you can grasp in both hands securely. I'm using a barbell plate, nothing very heavy. Again, you can do this kneeling down, but all we're really doing, brace your core, brace your legs. Your arms are going to come out straight in front of you, one on each side of your weight. From here, squeezing the belly, squeezing the core and the bum. Going to do a circle one way. So I'm going clockwise now, just slowly, controlling the movement, keeping the shoulders down. So breathe out on the up, in on the down, out on the up, in on the down. Again, pulling down with the shoulder blades, squeezing the shoulder blades together, squeezing the rest of your body in. We're going to go around the other way, so counterclockwise. If you're finding this is hard on your back at all, you can always split your stance, and that'll just relax that lower back if it's feeling the pressure. All right, and relax. So that's more circular movements that you might be doing. All right. Next, we're going to be doing some, and this is a bit more applicable to Jukendo and tankendo, small weights, but they're still good for your shoulder and body control and your arm control. So you're going to take your weights. You're going to go into a bit of a robot press, so keeping the arms or the elbows in. All we're going to do is as we breathe out, we'll turn our arms out to the side. We extend out, we bring it in and forward. So out to the side, outside the body, back to the inside the body, and to the front. Out, push, pull in, and rotate. Pull your shoulders down, squeeze your shoulder blades together, squeeze your buttocks, your core, pull it up through the spine. If you want, you can speed it up or slow it down, either is fine. I'm going to pick up the pace a little bit just because this is feeling nice and comfortable for the moment. Again, you notice I'm not trying to jerk my joints at all, I'm trying to do this smoothly. And this is to make sure that the muscles are extending carefully and in control. They're getting a proper workout, and you're going to do less damage, you're not going to tear anything. A few more. All right, put them down. Going to work on some salsa hips. This is more, makes more sense for Jukendo, tankendo, naginata, where we really want to work on the hip movement. This is about learning to isolate. Best thing I can do for you is turn on my side. Have one hand behind the side of the body, so this is my right side, my right hand's behind. What I'm trying to do is pull back with that hip. So I can hit my hand with that hip. If you've got a wall, you can use the wall. So all I'm focusing on is this hip point, pulling it back. Everything else is staying where it is, so my upper body isn't turning. I'm just pulling back that hip to try and strike my hand. Doesn't have to be fast, but I want you to try, to really start focusing on that pull back. So my feet, again, are underneath my hips, trying to keep them all stacked nicely. I'm just trying to slap my hand with my back hip. As you get more comfortable with this, you can bend the knees and you'll get a little bit more rotational movement. So it gets a bit sharper. Of course, if you don't like slapping your butt, that's fine, you don't need to. But I really just want you to focus on making sure you're pulling back with that hip. Again, you can try it with split stance. All we're really trying to do is focus on that backward rotation of the hip. All right, I'm going to try it with the other leg. So now it's the left side. I want to pull back with that hip. So it's not the other hip driving it forward, it's this hip rolling back. Again, you can bend the knees, get a bit more rotation. It may feel weird, especially when you're getting used to doing it on the other side. It's a lot of butt jiggle. So if you want to do salsa, this is the way to do it. Get that little bit of a juicy bounce in there. And that just means that everything else is relaxed and you're just letting the hip do the work. Again, try it with a split stance. Again, if you're facing the front. So yeah, as you can see, it looks very much like a dance move because it is. But what it's teaching you is how to rotate that hip in a nice, sharp and controlled manner. And what they'll do is help you for things where you have to turn 180 degrees, learning to draw back that hip as much as possible. It'll also help open up your hip flexors, which can be quite good for your various kamae. All right, last thing I'm going to do, and you'll probably hate me, these are mountain climbers. So mountain climbers are basically like running on the ground. And what they do is they help you learn to power through your legs, through your calves, through your gastrocnemius, your soleus, your quads, as well as focus on your core. So it's quite a powerful run. What we want to do is keep our back of our head and our buttocks in a nice line, so keeping that strong by squeezing everything in. And our legs are basically going to charge up and down in front of us, but we're doing it on the ground. So I'll just pull these back a little bit further so you can see a bit better. Come down onto the ground, fingers wide open. You're going to place these in line underneath your shoulders, arms straight. If you need to, you can push forward so you come over your shoulders, over your wrists, sorry. One foot out, so you can see I've got a nice straight line of my back. It's horizontal to the ground. Bring out the other foot, and from here, we're just going to drive the left knee up and back, right knee up and back. And that's all we're doing. So this is the basic mountain climber, where we're just slowly driving through it with our legs. If you want to, you can start picking up the pace. Just focus on your breathing. Push down into the ground with your hands. Make sure your shoulders don't rise up. Pick up the pace again. If you can, you don't have to. And you can see I'm now pushing hard off the ground with each leg. There's a second where I don't have any feet on the ground. Keep squeezing the belly. 10 more seconds. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 3, 2, 1, and relax. Should be feeling a little bit tired after that. I know I am. Just going to do a little bit of a warm down. So breathing in and breathing out through the mouth. Breathing in and out. Last one. Roll shoulders back. Grab the hands behind you and pull out. So this is stretching your arms, your shoulders and your chest. Release. Bring the arms in front. Bend the knees. Push forward to create a C curve with your spine. Drop your head between your arms. Feet wide. You're just going to let your body drop over the front, so you're getting a nice stretch up your hamstrings. Let your arms relax and your head relax down. Rolling out. If you've got a wall, you can use that to brace yourself. both feet pointing towards the wall or imaginary wall, legs are straight, bend the front leg. So keep the heel of the back leg down, you'll get a nice stretch up the back of the calf. Come back to center. Now I want you to bend both knees. So again, you're going to feel it in the back calf in a slightly different position. This is going to be relaxing the soleus. Changing over, both legs straight, bend the front leg, keep the back heel down on the floor. Come back to center, bend both knees, again keeping both heels on the floor. Coming up. Just going to do a quad stretch, so picking up one leg, trying to bring the heel to your backside, keep the knees together. And the other side. And we're just going to do one little roll down. So feet underneath your knees, underneath your hips, chin to the ceiling, breathe in. As you breathe out, drop your chin to your chest, soften your knees, roll your forehead down to meet your belly button. Keep rolling forward in your spine until your arms are hanging towards the floor. Just rest there for a bit. If you want, you can bend the knees more and straighten them. And that'll just give you a nice little stretch. Keeping the knees bent, roll up from the base of the spine, slowly, one at a time. Really enjoying that stretch. Arms up above the head, breathe in. And as you breathe out, we'll roll down again. Chin to chest, forehead to belly. Drop the arms forward, soft knees. Bend the knees slightly in from the base of the spine. Roll up one vertebrae at a time. One last breath in. And out. And in. And out. Good job. So I said, this is a base plyometrics or explosive power session. It's really designed to get you using your muscles in the correct manner, so they're properly supported. And then you can kind of move them up into the slightly harder versions, so the progressions and much more explosive movements. But for now, I just want to start us off with the basics, and then you can skip forward to the other ones. But these ones are a really good grounding for very specific movements. I hope you enjoyed it. I'll see you next time.